I'm going to touch on the three biggest problems that most investors have, and I'm going to try and give you the answer to those problems. See if you agree with me what those problems are. Knowing when to sell. That is one that catches a lot of people. Knowing what to buy and knowing how to stay safe. Three different problems that investors have, and we're going to try and answer them for you today. Or at least one at a time in each video. The promise that I'm going to make you is that I'm going to give you definite solutions to those problems. We're going to get rid of them for you. The question you might have now is, well, who is this guy? Why should I listen to him? Why does he have the answers? And about that, and I hate talking about me, but I have 59 years experience with stocks, both as a professional and personally. I have written 2 best-selling books. I was the top broker in Eastern Canada for a number of years. And this has been a lifetime study for me. But you know, mistakes are the best way to learn. And I have made those mistakes so you don't have to. Why is selling so difficult? Well, as you've probably experienced, you usually buy way after the lowest prices have gone in history. You get used to the fact that the market or the stock doesn't go up every day. It falls on some days. And that's not pleasant, but you get used to it. And so when it does again, you say, okay, that's fine. Tomorrow or the next day or next week, it will be back up to greater highs, and I'll be back in more than profit than I had before. And then it takes a fairly major bump. Why is selling so difficult? I mean, you can do it in a fraction of a second. But here's the problem. It's an emotional one. You get used to the fact that stocks don't rise every day. It's disappointing when they go down, but you get used to it, and you think to yourself after a while, well, it's a pity that had to happen, but tomorrow or next week or whenever, it will go on to new highs and I'll make some more profit. And that puts a smile on your face, perhaps. Well, you have no idea, nor does anybody else, when exactly the top is for that particular stock and when it's about to make a major plunge. Because the top starts in the same way as those hiccups it's had all the way on the way up. So you get a down day, you get another down day, and you wait for the new high. But this time the new high doesn't come. You may have a day or two where the stock rises again, but maybe not to new highs. And that can go on for a considerable period. And then somebody mentions the R word, recession. And then you start to get afraid. But by that time, you've lost half of the profit you made. You've missed the top. And that's why it's so difficult to sell, because you don't know where that top is. But you get to a point where you're praying to the stock gods or whoever it is, and you say to yourself, look, if this thing will just come back up $2, I will sell at that point. And sure enough, your stock rises $2. But when it does, you say, oh, this is going, I knew this was only temporary. It's going to new highs. I would be foolish to sell now. And so you hang on. And that was another big mistake you just made. Because the next thing that happens is a very swift plunge. And you get out at the low price. So you bought high because you missed the bottom, and you sold low. And really, when you're investing by the seat of your pants, that is the way things typically go. That is why so many people don't do very well in the stock market, why their returns are far less than they should be. It will take time for me, and be very difficult for me right now because I don't have charts in front of me here, but I will, I have part of another video that I will insert into this one, so you'll see what I'm talking about how to use a system to tell you when to sell. So you don't have to guess. You don't have to wonder, gee, is this thing going up $2, so I get some of my money back. You will have a system. The green blob is where this particular ETF was bought.
Okay.
Very close, as you see, to the bottom. Now, the colors here are important. You'll see this particular chart here begins purple and then turns to blue.
Oh, yes.
The blue indicates where it starts to carry a stop loss underneath the line.
Oh, okay. I see that, yeah.
Let me show you how we get that purple line, because, it's in space in the first several months. Why?
Mm-hmm.
How do we draw a line that's in space?
Oh, okay.
Now, you see these black lines here?
Yep.
Well, after the stock is bought, right here where this green blob is, the program looks for the previous lowest point, which is right here, where the purple line begins.
Okay. That's what
And it draws a line at whatever angle it can, as tightly up as it can do it. And so that's what these black lines are representing. Over time, a different line gets pushed in place because the stock is moving down at the top here.
Yeah.
And it's pushing the line further and further and further down until ultimately it finishes up where this purple line is. This purple line has been moved. It would finish up on this point right here. And I'll explain in a minute why it gets to here. But here, where my pointer is now, is where stop losses begin. There has been no stop loss all the way along here. So we didn't get pushed out where this sideways pattern is.
Yeah, because you can see the stock is still going up, even though it's going the stock may be going up and down like a yo-yo.
Yes.
It's showing you it's clearly in a safe zone while these things are happening. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And often where you see this basically sideways movement, you would see a sharp fall down to maybe here or here.
Oh, okay.
And many people then would panic and get out of what turns out, as you can see, to be a very good investment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so now you see how we got the purple line so far.
Yes.
Now, there's a problem with that. And the problem is, if we just put that line in place and leave it alone, and it is now, that original line is now represented by this black one. If we leave it alone, we hope that that is showing us the right angle of rise for that particular security. But you remember I said that the stop loss, after it gets to be blue up here, is outside the trend line.
Okay.
The reason for that is shown in this red circle here.
So it's now in an unsafe...
No.
No?
You had the original line broken through, but it was a false breakout. False because it didn't hit the stop loss. It fell short of the stop loss.
Oh, okay.
So you stayed in.
All right.
However, it's indicated to us that the original line wasn't quite right and needs a slight adjustment. And it can only be a slight one after the stop losses have started.
Oh, okay.
Before, when the line is purple, it can go any way, flip-flop in, up or down, it doesn't matter. But once we've got that stop loss in place, indicated by that blue line at the end, it can only move down a fraction
Yeah,
if the stop loss isn't hit.
yeah, because you can see the trend is still going up, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, in the next chart, you'll see it didn't go up for very long. There we go. And the yellow blob is where we got out of this particular chart.
That's where you sold.
That's where we sold. Because, as you can see, the stock started to come down. And look at it. And
Yeah.
first of all, it's very close to the top where we got out. We got in close to the bottom. We got out close to the top, if you remember the previous chart. And we avoided all of this nonsense here.
So what kind of a profit did you gain on that stock when you decided to sell?
I don't have that list in front of me, so I don't know. But if I remember, it was something in excess of 200%.
200%, yeah. Well, that certainly would be 200%.
Yeah, in about
And-
5 years.
5 years. So, yeah, if I could get that, I think I'd be smiling.
That's a glimpse of how part of the system that I use will work to take away the doubts and the fears and all of those sort of things that work against you. I go into much greater detail about that in my coaching program, which you'll learn about in the 4th video in this series. So that's it for today. We will be back again in a couple of days. And I want you to do one thing right now. I want you to go down below where this video is and give me some comments. Tell me what you think about this presentation so far, and perhaps what else you'd like to hear about. And in doing that, you will help me give better service to you, better information to you in the future. So, see you in the next time. Bye-bye now.